Hey, hey, how y'all doing? The first half was pretty interesting. Oh, here he come now. The first one ended. RJ. Yeah, let's get it going. Share this video, y'all. Share this so we can get it out. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Because usually the time limit, from what I was told, was about 2 hours. We ain't been on here 2 hours, I don't think.
Yeah, I
So,
don't think so.
so somebody must have tried to report it or something. But it's all good. We back like cook crack. I know you don't want to hear that, but
Um, so where was I at? Like I said, I've had people say, "Hey, man, take your badge and gun off," so on and so forth. And like I said, a lot of times it's funny to me because I'm laughing because it's a lot of cats that talk that, but they're really not going to do it either, as you say about us.
yeah, and that's facts.
And just the fighter in me say, "Yeah, let's do this." But like I said, a lot of people say, "Oh, cops hide behind your badge and gun." Some cops are going to do that, but there's a lot of officers that will get out there with you. The only problem is if we do that, we're going to lose our job. Okay, so if we get out there, and even if we take our badge and gun off and we say, okay, I'm agreeing mutual combat with you, right? When we get done, if it don't turn ugly, we're still gonna get fired. That's why we don't do it,
That's if
and
somebody
that's why,
snitching, y'all.
that's what now because what'll happen is somebody will. Because at the end of the day, especially if it messes around and that officer gets the best of whoever he's fighting, the next thing that's going to happen is, oh, this officer did this. It's going to be an excessive force complaint. And then it's going to be, well, you know what? At the end of the day, you knew better. You should not have took off your badge and gun. You're supposed to be held to a higher standard, which is what everybody expects, which is correct. So
Mm-hmm.
we can't do it, even though a lot of us would. So
Well,
again, under
let
my
me,
system, it would allow us to do so
well, let me ask you.
outside of the consequences on both sides.
Let me ask you this, because when I was talking to the gentleman earlier, there was the worry, quote unquote, about, like, say me and you, we got into it.
Mm-hmm.
We signed waivers in the whole 9 yards. I got in there and I got the best of you. Knocks you slam out. Not saying it's gonna happen or would happen, but that I knocks
Mm-hmm.
you slam out.
Mm-hmm.
The worry of retribution from
Right.
just
And I
your
address
squad,
that.
not even the whole department that you're part of, but your squad
Yeah, and I
coming
address
back
that,
after.
and I address that because that's also about one thing about me is I try to look at every situation from every angle. What happens if I do this? What happens if this happens? What happens if that happens?
Mhm.
How do you respond to this? This is that, And a lot of people don't do that. You don't look at the big picture. You just look at 4 feet in front of you. Okay, and I try not to do that. So that's a concern that I've thought about, and that's what I said, and that'd be something that would be, in that waiver, which would be a legal binding contract. If you decide to get in the ring with that officer, and that officer agrees to do that with you, there can be no retaliation on either side.
That's
And
from
if
you.
there
That's from
is,
you. That's from
and
you.
no,
But
no, no.
because
But
you,
what I'm saying, that needs to be
if
something
you,
that is put in this program. Because
I
at any
got you.
point, if you go in there, no, I'm not just saying with me.
Okay, I
Okay,
got
I'm
you.
the
I'm talking about
type.
the
Listen,
departments.
if I get in that ring and you win, like I said, if I should have went left and I went right and I caught that foot and I'm asleep, you got me. You understand? I'm telling you, you got me, and I will say, yeah, you got me because I'm a fighter. That's fighters' respect. You
Plus,
understand? What I'm saying,
plus,
regardless of my job.
as a man, you give a man respect.
Exactly. Regardless
Yeah.
of my job, okay? And that's what we need to get back to on both sides is mutual respect. Now, but that would have to be something that's in that contract of mutual combat between an officer and that civilian who has challenged him or her,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And it needs to be strongly understood that there will be no retaliation on each side, period. And if there is retaliation on either side, it will come with swift consequences because we're trying to change the perception on both sides. That doesn't mean you get to go out there and act retarded. It's like the movie The Purge, right? Remember The Purge, they tell you, hey, listen, you got 12 hours to get it off your chest. 12 hours. When that horn goes off again, you will stop or they put you down. It's the same concept. Now, it's not as extreme as we're going to put somebody down or you're going to put up. You understand what I'm saying? We're not talking on that extreme. So, again, internet, don't twist my words. Okay, it's not that extreme, but it needs to be with this program development, and that would be something that we would have to get with, and I think it's something that both Both sides need to come together to develop the program to where we say, hey, this is what we think. Hey, this is what law enforcement thinks. Legal involvement, and say, hey, what can we do? What if this happens? What's our plan of action for this? What's our plan of action for that? Can this program actually work? Would both sides actually agree to this program? I think it'd be a great fundraising for both sides. Because if we met, let's just say, for instance, I say, okay, you know what? I don't know this kid. He issued the challenge. I'm going to get in the ring and I'm going to fight Haney. Let's just say that's what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. He's an established fighter. He's got a reputation. He's got a title belt. And I get in there and say, okay, let's go ahead and do that. And we raise $10 million. $5 million goes to the community. $5 million goes towards law enforcement. Mm-hmm. You know, and at the same time, we're building and helping each other at the same time.
That makes a lot of sense.
And we're also building that mutual respect for each other.
That makes a lot of sense because they do something like that on a minor scale when it comes to like basketball.
Yeah.
You know, in basketball, in the prison system, and in other places where you have the staff, the COs or football going against the the cons or inmates or whatever.
And that's another form of mutual combat. It's just in a sport form.
Yeah.
Fighting, mixed martial arts, boxing, or sports. Okay, so my idea is not. I've had people attack me and say you're talking about beating on citizens. You're talking about doing that, and my response to that is said, listen, you don't have officers walking up to civilians, okay, and saying, hey, listen, put your camera down, take your book bag off. I want to fight you because I don't like how you talk to me. I'm an officer. You have to respect me. That's not what's happening. You may have some that have done that, right? But that's not what's happening on a large scale. You and I know from even the time we were kids, you got people all over the place that are quick, if they're drunk, if they're high, or they're just pissed off and don't like cops. Take the badge and gun off, and I'm gonna beat your ass. We're not the ones challenging people. People are challenging us. And it's just getting to the point that you're mad, especially at this point right now, what's going on in the United States. People are mad at cops as a whole for the actions of a few. And that's the biggest problem I have and what a lot of officers have. I'm getting out, I'm putting on that badge, I'm kissing my son, I'm going out the door, I'm trying my best to do what's right every day, even though people can't not stand the fact of what I do. A lot of times people don't even see me as a man. They don't see me as RJ. They don't see nothing past that uniform and that badge. And that's where we have the breakdown at, because at the end of the day, like everybody's quick to say, when you take that uniform off, you're a man. You're correct. You are absolutely right. So at the end of the day, if I'm not disrespecting you, don't disrespect me. Because at the same time, when everybody feels disrespected, we're only going to take so much disrespect before we react to it.
And that's human. That's human.
Exactly.
But this is the thing.
The problem is where officers are reacting to it and the timing they're reacting to it. And that's why I'm saying put it in a controlled environment. Because when you're out there trying to effect an arrest, or you're dealing with a citizen that may be drunk, that may be high, that may just had a bad fucking day, it may have had a bad week, mom died, dog died, whatever their situation is, that they really are just on one right now, right? That's not the time to lose it. That's not the time to lose it. Will it escalate to the point that you may get in a fight? Yeah. But you're not supposed to start it. You understand what I'm telling you? You're not supposed to start it. Now, like I said, there's been plenty of times that officers have just, got in the heat of the moment and just tired. And a lot of that's right now. And like I said, I'm trying to come up with a solution that will benefit both sides. And right now, the only solution that I see, because it's already violence. When people say, oh, you're suggesting beating on civilians. No, I'm not suggesting beating on civilians. I'm suggesting to give people that are calling us out the chance to do what they want. Because like I said, we might get in that ring and lose. We might get in that ring and lose. We might. There's a good possibility. Listen, I'm 6'1". I just weighed myself a week and a half ago and I'm at 215. Okay. What happens if I get in the ring with Haney and I should have went left and I went right and he hits me? Man. We got a 50-pound weight difference and he will win.
I've seen that happen.
And so when it comes to fighting, and that's why I say it's a mutual combat that can come to an understanding in the long run and also make some money for both sides at the same time. But it'll stop the scale of violence that it is right now to where people are dying. But like I said, you have to sit back and actually talk like we're doing right now and develop a system that both sides can agree to and allow it to happen. I think it could be a great system, and it's not, you know, cops beating on civilians, you know, and I just laugh at the amount of boxers and mixed martial artists that people just went to go find and say, hey, yo, go beat on this cop and this is that, so on and so forth. And everybody's like, oh, he's quiet now, he's not responding. I said, because the difference is I'm an adult. I'm not a child that just pops up at the mouth because I feel like that's what's in my head. I'm very calculating when I say what I say. And I try to the best of, you know, my ability. And I think about a lot of stuff, like, you know, when I'm talking, I'm looking around because my brain is actually, you know, turning, and I'm trying to be very selective with my words and come across so people can understand what I'm saying and not take it the wrong way because they look at my statue, especially when I'm in the gym. You understand what I'm saying?
And I believe in letting a man explain themselves.
Exactly.
Because in this day and age, as far as with social media and the short time limits we have to say something, post a picture real quick, sometimes it can be put out the wrong way, misconstrued, accidentally taken the wrong way. Just like texting. When you text somebody, you don't get the same sentiment as if you're talking to them. Because if I'm talking to you, you can hear the twang in my voice. You can hear when my temperature go up or go down. Or,
exactly.
Whereas a text, you could take a text wrong, and a person never even meant it that way. So I always believe in giving somebody the opportunity.
And that, like you said about text, that's why I said what I said about my original video, because my original video did not depict what that caption said. And once it was retweeted, Black Lives Matter and Antifa protesters, it immediately came across as this cop is against the movement. This cop is against, he's not standing for police brutality. He's part of the problem. He's this and he's that. And like I said, from the original video, if people will watch it and listen, that is not what I said at any point. I called out the people who are challenging us. Professional boxers ain't out there challenging us. Not one of them.
Not yet. Look.
I mean, they're doing it now. But like I said, they're not out there on the street every day walking up to officers saying, yo, I want to fight you. Yeah. That's not what they're doing. These cats are sitting back making hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're getting up worried about training and everything else. Now, if somebody comes and wrongs them, or they're going to have a problem. Any real fighter will. That includes me.
Let me ask you a question. With the same fervor, the same steadfastness that you meant what you said about the proposition that you would like to see about putting in place, would you have that same steadfastness in getting back to a community policing where you had to walk a beat? I want you to keep it 100. I don't want you to say yeah because it sounds good.
No. One thing about me is I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. That's why the video is getting what it is now, because I said what I said, and people just, you know, because the only problem with that is right now, oh yeah, you got cats on here popping off at the mouth. At the end of the day, you know, people need that one-on-one interaction. They need that, hey man, you know, if I look over at you, you sitting on the stoop with your head down, and I'm walking through the neighborhood, and I'm like, what's going on with you? Man, I don't even know. I'm just mad right now. Talk to me. Don't talk to me. And I'm like, listen, you know, what's going on? Maybe I can help. Besides the uniform, I've had to talk to people that was just having, and I've done it. If they're having a bad day, and I said, you know what? Talk to me. Don't look at my uniform. Talk to me. I'm asking what's going on, what's in your head, so we can have a conversation. You know, and that's something that's not going on in neighborhoods in the United States, and everybody's neighborhood in the United States for a very long time. Now, with that being said, it hasn't gone on for a long time because of the perception of law enforcement. So walking down the street could be bad for us. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not in everybody's community, but in a lot of communities that people are just anti-police, that you go walking down that neighborhood, somebody's going to take a shot at you. Now, the elders in that neighborhood will say, no, don't do that. Let's actually get to talk. But you're going to have this one knucklehead or this group of knuckleheads that are going to take that as an opportunity to do some dumb shit.
That's why you would have to.
And then we're going to have to respond to it.
You would have to have the neighborhood leaders, both on a civil level and the OGs of the neighborhood, the so-called OGs, big homies.
Yeah,
they have to come to the table as well to one of these to a community meeting amongst the police and the citizens to set down some parameters to re-encourage it. Just like a baby, you can't jump out there and give it a T-bone steak. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, spoon feed it with some of that little Gerber to get it ready. Then you might let them gnaw on the bone or something, but you ain't damn sure ain't gonna give them no steak off the break, or it's gonna be problems. Same thing with communities that's been divided upon themselves,
Not a lot.
and at war or at bat with what they feel like are overseers, not public servants that are meant to protect and serve, but they see most police agencies as overseers, which is a whole different connotation, a whole different thought process. Now, to get it back, and it might be a spoon feed for law enforcement as well, because you don't have a lot of these jokers that sit around eating them donuts, and you know what I'm saying? They thick around the middle, you know, that they ain't gonna want to walk the beat neither. They gonna want to sit in that car on the corner and leave it at that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the chief says you got to walk the beat. That's what's happening. If the chief of police and every law enforcement agency across the country, right? If owners of private security companies, owners of bail enforcement companies, owners of corrections is a little different because you're sitting behind the gate, so you're walking the beat regardless.
And it's a little bit different there, definitely.
Exactly. But if you got officers that's walking the street and no matter what part of law enforcement they work in, right? If the people you work for say that's what you got to do, guess what? If you want your job, you got to do it. It's just that simple. It's not so much as, man, listen, I'm out of shape, I'm so on and so forth, yada, yada, I don't want to walk the beat. Okay, well, here's the deal. Right now, this is the goal that we're trying to portray in this type of neighborhood of what's going on. We're trying to fix relations, so we need officers out there working the beat. And if you don't want to do that, then you can just turn in your badge right now.
It goes somewhere else.
Because at the end of the day, we all work for somebody. We have to go by the guidelines that they set forth. It's like TikTok. You know, you have officers all over the place, which is why when I do post, I don't have anything on me that says who I work for. Because then you run in situations like this where the first thing people are going to do, and I've had this threat, we're going to get him fired without even talking to me, you know, or he's doing this on time, so on and so forth, and this is that. You know, you've got a lot of officers that are on TikTok that are dancing, that are having fun, that are talking to the community, humanizing the badge, right? And as soon as we say something that they don't like, it's automatically attacked, and then they're looking at you, trying to see where you work at, and they're calling your department. You know, so many. One of my friends, you know, I looked at her page, and she took all of her videos down of her in uniform because her department's coming down hard on her. Because of everything that's going on. So again, at the end, and you know what she had to do because what her department said, she had to take the videos down of her in uniform, and they're told you cannot do videos in uniform. Okay, so at the end of the day, no matter who you work for, anybody, you have rules. You work for McDonald's, you got rules. You work for Burger King, you got rules. You work for Target, you work for a car wash, you work for a software company, you have rules. And if you want to keep working for those people, you're going to do what they say. It's like the whole thing with Kaepernick. You know, everybody didn't understand why he was doing what he was doing because he was protesting. Did I agree with the way he did it? No, and I'm going to touch on that, why I didn't agree with the way he did it. But at the end of the day, and I'm gonna tell you why, and this is a good point. I'm gonna tell you why I didn't agree with it. At the end of the day, he worked for somebody. At the end of the day, no matter what your feelings are, you worked for that team. That team was paying you. So you may have you may say, this is what I feel like I need to do. But if these people tell you not to do it, they're paying you. So when they say we're not going to pay you anymore because you're not following our rules, no matter what the reason is, you got to understand they're paying you. Even if you're in the NFL, you're in the NBA, it's a job. And if you do something out of what these people want you to do that are paying you, you're going to lose your job.
Only reason I kind of agree, but I disagree because Kaepernick and all the other players, they're paid to play. They're paid to train,
but it's still a job. But it's still a job.
They're not paid to stand up there and hold their hand on their chest and to the anthem.
Correct.
That's a choice.
Correct.
And for somebody to passively yet boldly protest in that way, to get blackballed in such a way, says a lot for the ownership
I'm not saying I agree with what they did. That's not what I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is at the end of the day, when you work for somebody, you have rules to follow. And like I
True.
said, even with us, if they say you can't do TikToks, you can't do videos in uniform, we can't do it. And if we do it, when they say don't do it, we're going to lose our job.
I get it. I get what
You
you're
understand
saying.
what I'm saying?
I get what you mean.
It's not that, well, it's our personal page. We should be able to do what we want, not while you're wearing our uniform.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same with the NFL. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same with the NBA. And that's how people need to address it. Yeah, I'm not agreeing at all with saying, okay, I believe he should be able to protest the way he wants to do. But at the end of the day, he was wearing their uniform. And if they say, hey, listen, we don't want you to do this on our time, you can't do it. You can't do it. You understand what I'm saying? Now, the reason why I don't agree with the way he protests is this. As far as when it comes to black people, feel like black people have spent way too much time begging and pleading for equality. Way too much time from the time of slavery on our knees, begging people to understand us, begging people to treat us fairly, begging people to allow us to prove that we're not what you think we are. We spend too much time begging for that. I'm not taking a knee. You're going to respect me as a black man, and I'm going to do it standing up.
So what if
I'm not going to take a knee.
Suppose if he didn't take a knee and he just turned his back to while all the other players are standing like this and he turned his back and just stood there, would that have been? Now that would have definitely came across as disrespect.
Yeah, I mean,
I get what you're saying.
Either which way he did it came across disrespectful to a lot of people. But like I said, kneeling to me is a sign is a sign of defeat. It's a sign of quitting. It's a sign of you begging for equality, and I'm just not going to do that. It's even in the NFL when that punt return, when you kick off that punt,
mm-hmm.
right, and they catch it at the 20-yard line and they take a knee. What does that mean? Don't hit me. I give up. We're gonna start from right. You understand what I'm telling you?
I get it.
In the NFL, I'm not gonna take a knee and I'm not gonna take a knee and surrender. I'm not. I'm gonna stand and force you to respect me. I'm gonna stand with my arm raised in victory and say, hey, listen, no, I've earned this. I worked for this. You're gonna respect me. I'm not gonna be on the knee begging you to do anything. That's like what the officer in Georgia
I'm with you on that. I would rather see him with his fist up. Yeah,
exactly. That's when that officer in Georgia, the state trooper in Georgia said what he said, people were mad. No, he's right. What are you kneeling for? Stop kneeling. Our people have been kneeling for way too long, begging for people to understand us, begging for people to like I said, everybody could look at what I said and the caption has changed the narrative of what my actual intentions was. But I'm very black. I'm very pro-black. But at the same time, I'm not going to excuse the bullshit you're going to that people are doing to get your point across, because it's a different way of doing it. A lot of other people, not white people, racists. The racists believe we're just, you know what people think about black people. I'm not even going to go into the stereotypes,
mm-hmm.
And the goal is not to be what they think you are. Don't perpetuate the cycle of what they think you are.
Yeah, that's true.
And like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not taking a knee for nobody.
You see that shirt?
Yeah.
Positive black stereotypes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm about exuding.
Exactly.
And
so,
and
like I said, that was my biggest thing with Kaepernick as far as taking a knee. I'm all for his protests but I just think it should have been a different way to do it. And especially with us as black people, like I said, I'm done seeing, reading, from the movies to history to even during the protests. I'm not kneeling. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stand there and I'm going to talk to you. And then we're going to come to an agreement, but you're going to respect me as a black man. You're going to understand where I'm coming from. You're going to understand where I feel. I'm not taking the need to get your attention. No, I'm going to stand in front of you and you're going to get my attention.
And that brings it full circle to the thing of dialogue. We need to stop being afraid to touch those things, touch those topics that cut.
Hold on 1 second. Let me answer this for Renee real quick. So when they asked those cops to take a knee in solidarity, you wouldn't. No, I would not have. What I would have told those people is don't take a knee to stand up. Stand with me and talk with me and stand face to face as men and women. I wouldn't have said take a knee, because taking a knee is a form of surrender. And like I said, for our people, we spent way too much time on our knees begging for equality. And I'm not going to do it. I would literally say, no, I'm not going to do it. Matter of fact, I invite you to stand and talk with me. Stand on your own 2 feet as a man and as a woman and demand equality. You don't have to be violent to demand equality. You don't have to go out there and burn down the neighborhood. You don't have to go out there and tear up stuff. You don't have to go out there and shoot people and act retarded to demand equality. But at the same time, taking a knee has always been a form of surrender. Always. And damn near every culture, anything, taking a knee is a form of surrender. Hell, when you propose to a woman and you take that knee, you're surrendering to that woman. It's always been a form of surrender. And I'm not going to do it. And I would encourage everybody else not to take a knee. Stand for what you want. Stand and be heard. It's like, you know how they say about short people? Well, you short, I can't hear you. You understand what I'm saying? You're a munchkin, I can't hear you. You're 5 foot tall. So why take a knee? Stand so they can hear exactly what you're saying. Stand on your feet. Don't take a knee as a form of surrender and try to talk to people. Stand and look them in the eye and tell them, you're going to respect me. That's my position on that.
And that's what we need. One to another, one for another, is mutual respect, dialogue, like we talked about earlier in this conversation, as well as earlier when we talked offline. Dialogue is needed, whether it be dealing with the racial component of black versus white, or black and white, citizen and police, anything where there's division, anywhere where there's misunderstanding, lack of understanding. The only way to get an overstanding is to sit down and have dialogue. Now, the dialogue might be heated, it might not be heated.
Oh, it will be.
Partially
Right now on both sides.
Yeah, partially or in full. But the thing is, you need to sit at that table, get through that heat, listen to each other, and don't leave the table without speaking on solution, trying to work towards solution, because nothing's going to change until we decide it's time to make a change.
Exactly.
And put forth planned effort to do so. Or else we're going to come another 60, 70 years with the same old BS and be pissed off at ourselves or at our future generations for not doing what they should be doing, and them being pissed at us, feeling like we should have did something years ago. There has to be those chains broken.
Right.
So whereas we put our prides aside as men, as people, as women, our positions aside, citizen, whether you on the right side of the law or the wrong side of the law, and law enforcement and government officials, there needs to be dialogue.
Right.
There needs to be community policing and programs that reintroduce the police to the community to the police in such a way that both see each other as humans, and that we don't see y'all as RoboCops or as Gestapo, and y'all don't see us as, and when I say y'all, speaking generally, y'all don't see us as all in one crab barrel, or everybody looking the same, or everybody's guilty of something and ain't done nothing. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
We got to get past the stereotypes. We got to get past the bullshit. We got to get past the mindsets, and we need to institute training that's going to help both citizens deal with law enforcement, and more importantly, because they're paid, law enforcement to be able to deal with citizens on another level. Because beyond teachers, at one point, law enforcement were a lot to communities, as far as not just to protect and serve counselors.
Exactly.
Sometimes big brothers and fathers,
absentee parents, all that good stuff.
All
that.
It was, I know stress that comes with that component by itself. Forget about all the other bullshit, but that component itself, it can bring about a lot of stress. But then then for you all, there needs to be I know y'all have it where y'all can talk to somebody, like
Yeah.
psychiatrists or whatever, but
Mhm.
maybe a better, broader program to deal with the day-to-day stresses that police have so that y'all can decompress.
Right.
Because I do know this personally, fire department, police department have some of the highest divorce rates. One is
Definitely.
because of the hours worked. Two, because of the stress that comes along with it, and
Yeah.
how to deal with the stress. Whether I'm not coming home because I don't feel like, or whatever. That's a whole nother
Yeah, it's
conversation.
hard. It's hard to deal with, man, especially for law enforcement. It's really, um, it's a lot to deal with. It really is, and not everybody can handle it. And like I said, a lot of times you got officers that use that outlet against citizens, and that's where a lot of the problems come in because you may be stressed out, and something, it may take that certain situation that just triggers it. And not to make an excuse and say it's right because it's not, but it does happen. It happens in every job. I had somebody say, well, you don't see people in other jobs flipping out and attacking customers. Yes, you do.
You do.
That's a lie. Yes, you do. The difference is it's not the same because it's a different position. We have a different um,
A
set of
greater
rules. We have a
importance.
different
Greater
position.
importance.
Yeah, we have a greater importance than compared to somebody working at Target and somebody come in and pop off and the clerk come across the counter. You know, so like I said, I agree with all of that. It's a lot of changes that need to be made on both sides. It's a lot of talking that needs to be done on both sides. And like I said, the biggest thing for me is it needs to be mutual respect. And like I said, when it comes to my video, the narrative of my video was changed immediately once it went to Twitter. Once it went to Twitter and the dude posted that caption with it, I was like, oh shit. Once I actually seen it was on Twitter and I seen it, I said, okay, this is gonna be bad because this isn't what I intended. And then it just came, it came, it came, it came, it came. You know.
Well,
Um,
what I would suggest to you, off the cuff, as much as you're doing TikToks now, and I don't know if you're doing it as well as on IG, because I've been more through your TikToks than I have IG.
mhm.
Utilize your IG more and broaden it. Broaden it to YouTube. Get you a YouTube channel if you don't have one.
I got one, but I barely use
Use it.
it. I barely
You
use it, man. It's social media is one of the things that's hard to keep up with, man. I've had people talk to me about training. I've had people talk to me about a lot of stuff, but then for like I said, what I do for a living, it's hard to keep up with a lot of that stuff, man. I don't have time to actually, even with fitness, this is my fitness page. I don't really post anything on here other than fitness, pictures, workouts, things like that. And a lot of times it may go 2 weeks before I post. I may post in my story, but don't post it on the pictures or a video. And that's because I just don't have time. I'll work a 12-hour shift. I'll be bouncing around, running from place to place, going on, doing what I need to do. And then I'll come in, go to sleep for a few hours, get up, and I got to get my workout in. That's one thing about me. Nothing's going to stop my workout. I'm going to be in the gym until I cannot do it. And that's just something for me. That's my personal choice. It's not about beating nobody up. It's not about, I just have a certain way that I want to feel and I want to look for me. It's not about if somebody else like it, it's going to be people that like it. It's going to be people that don't like it. That's life. You're not everybody's cup of tea.
yeah,
But this is
what
something for me, so I don't care what nobody else has to say about it.
well let me say this. If everything you've said has been 100, far as your feeling, far as the community, far as community and policing relationships, far as the black community, even down to the fade challenge or the one-off. What you might find is a calling within your calling by way of doing the YouTube thing, and it might be therapeutic for yourself to kind of decompress, but at the same time, you might be able to get across because YouTube you can do videos hour long or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Whereas even if you're driving somewhere and you just talking into the to where to get your opinion off and not have somebody run with run and change your narrative.
Correct.
And actually affect and effect change.
Right.
You never know,
And I
because
thought about
it
that.
might be some other black officers or something that feel exactly how you feel, but either scared to say something or don't know how to project it
You
quite
know,
the way you do, and they'll catch your video, and you never know.
and it,
Y'all might end up linking up and building some kind of national organization or what have you that really
yeah.
helps the momentum of pushing in place
Hmm.
different programs that help both your cause as law enforcement and your people's communities as
Yeah, I mean,
black people.
I don't think it's black officers that are scared to say it. It's just the fact that when things are said and people perceive it the wrong way, this is why, the people we work for say be very careful of what you do with social media, because one, in this day and time, people don't like us. They hate us, no matter what um, side you work on,
Mm.
and a lot of things like this video can be perceived and come off a wrong way. And at the end of the day, like I said, once the caption went on that video, people didn't see and didn't hear what I had to say.
Mm.
Only thing they saw was my uniform
And I think it
and
was the
their
time. I think it was
anger
the time.
towards my uniform.
It was the
They
time.
didn't listen to what I actually had to say.
It was the time too. Like
Yeah, and like I said, the
if you would
timing.
have came out with that same video maybe a month or two from now, it might have still got some backlash, but I think it would have been received a little bit more
Honestly,
even keel.
I think if I wasn't an officer, it would have been received better. If it would have been just a regular person that doesn't do what I
Yeah,
do,
well,
and they
yeah,
say,
of
"Hey,
course, I can see that. Yeah,
let's make up a system to where it wouldn't have been perceived as, oh, he just wants to be no citizens." It would have been perceived a little bit different. But like I said, at the end of the day, right now, what's going on? People can't see me; they see my uniform. And so once they see that uniform and the feeling that they have towards the profession right now, that tunes out a lot of stuff that comes out of our mouth because they can't see past the uniform.
some people see law enforcement see you as already having the upper hand, and
And that's why I want the system that I have in play, because like I
uh,
said, a lot of that's in my head right now, and I would love to get started. Is because, again, when it comes to mutual combat, like I said, people know that if you put your hands on an officer and commission their duties, you're going to jail. So in that aspect, we do have the upper hand to where people cannot express themselves the way they might want to given the situation. And sometimes people can express themselves with words to where it just has to get physical. That's part of being human.
yeah,
But they can't, and it pisses them off because they need to express themselves in other ways that they can't because of the consequences of what will happen when you do. That's what I want to take away on both sides. Same thing with us.
yeah.
We may feel like, man, you know what? You out here doing the most. I'm trying to do my job, but you just running off at the mouth right now. And I really want to do this, but I can't because of the consequences of what will happen if I do it. I want to alleviate that for both sides. I want citizens to be able to say, you know what? Nah, I don't care. That's not what I like. I want to get this off my chest.
I really,
Give
I
the
really,
give
I
the
really
officer,
would, I really
yeah,
would like to see something like
give,
that
give the officer a
instituted.
chance to say, you know what? Okay, I feel like I did right, so let's go on and do what we need to do. Let's do this, and then let's promote it. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's go in the ring. Let's make 10 million.
I
Let's
would,
make 10 million. The community gets $5 million. I mean, think about it. How many?
70. I mean,
If you
7
look at
million.
if you look at the UFC, if you look at the NBA, the NFL, all these people, these organizations that make millions of dollars a year in advertisement alone, how many of that stuff actually goes to the community? How much of that money goes to the communities?
Yeah,
How much of it? So why not have a sport that will relieve stress on both sides and put that money into the community for policing, for that community, and for that community to better itself with businesses, with programs, with education, with whatever it is. When was the
facts.
last time? When was the last time one community? We're not talking about a city because cities get grants from the federal government every year. When was the last time? Let's give me a small community. When was the last time a mid-sized community got $100,000 just to better that community from wherever?
Where the money actually went to what it was set out for. You right about that. You right about that.
Exactly, and that's part of the problem too.
Yeah.
So my idea is not violence. It's not really violence. It's, you know, fighting. Like I said, you know, everybody's not hollering at the UFC or the boxing association. It's just all violence. It's money involved. So why not
exhibition to raise money?
Yeah, why not kill two birds with one stone and give law enforcement officers and civilians a chance to get their stress off their chest and make some money in the process?
I think that would be a winner, because one, the combatants themselves, I believe, will get a greater respect for one for the other. And when that officer comes back to that community, they're gonna be like, oh, they'll be like, oh, that's Officer so and so. He all right. He all right.
He's real.
He got a hell of a left hook or roundhouse kick or whatever the case may be, whatever.
He don't play, but he's fair.
Bingo. And that I'm glad you said that.
Dude, I hear it. Listen, I hear it every day. Yo, that man, Officer Slaughter, man, he cool, but he don't play. Talk to him, listen to what he gotta say. Man, but I ain't trying. No, talk to that man and listen to what he got to say, because he don't play. He's straight up with you. He'll talk with you, but he don't play. I hear it all the time. At the end of the day, like I said, I done got into it with a lot of people, you know. And at the end of the day, once they actually sit down and have a conversation with me, they change their perspective. Oh, he ain't, you know, you know, he 12, man, but he cool. He understand, man. He you know, he don't play. He will get in your ass, but he's straight.
And see that, and
that's what we need.
Exactly, because that's mainly what most citizens, even the ones that ain't doing right, that's all they asking for. Be fair with me. Yep. Don't come into my community acting like you ain't a human being, or like you ain't got feelings, or like you ain't never struggled, or da 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 da. Yep. It don't make what they doing right. It don't make what they doing wrong, depending on what the case may be.
But it's a way you can approach it. It's a way you can approach it. You know,
exactly.
Like I said, you can play for different teams and have mutual respect.
Exactly.
I say that all the time. You know, like I said, and that's why, like I said, a lot of times I do what I do, because, like I said, I know what you out there doing. I know, you know, I know you out there selling weed. You might be selling your little crack on the side. I know you females is out here tricking off. I know what you're doing. Here's the deal, right? Don't do it in front of me.
Yeah, back in the
day, I'm out here to make some extra money to do what I need to do for me. So lay low, and I know. Come on, man. As soon as I leave, you're gonna do what you're gonna do.
Back in the day,
you understand what I'm saying?
Back in the day,
have respect for me, because you know I'm sitting here. Don't force me to do my job. Yeah. Have respect. Different teams, mutual respect.
When I was
and as long as we have that understanding, we really won't have a lot of problems. Yeah, I'm still gonna have to do my job. You're gonna have times to where you're going to force me to do my job, because you're probably gonna be on one.
When I was younger, and I was out there slanging 100 miles and running, you had certain officers that played fair, and they said, just like you just said, if you see me coming down the block, and if I'm not coming towards you to holler at everybody, move on. Just move on. Give me that.
Don't stand in front of me and do it like
right. Give me that respect.
What you're doing is right,
and I'm gonna respect you just the same way. And that was fair, because we was talking earlier. I said, with everything that's going on now, especially with these cameras and everything else, and officers shooting and maiming and this, that, and the third. Back in the crack era, there was a lot more volatileness, and we, as the ones that was on the corner, knew that when the jump outs of the vice squad came and we ran,
you better move around.
Caught,
you better move around.
They was whooping our ass. They weren't trying to kill us though. But they was gonna lump us up. It was like part of a game. However, now in this day and age, that game is turned into something real.
It's a different
monster, different animal,
different time. It's a different style of policing than it was back in the day, and that happens. You know, society now is not what it was 20 years ago. Society now is not what it was 30, 40, 50 years ago. It's just not. Everything has to change. And what I try to get people to understand is law enforcement is reactive. Law enforcement is proactive, but then it's mainly reactive. Why? Because it's called probable cause.
Now I'm gonna mess your head up.
Law enforcement has to react based on what people do. If you don't do certain things, we can't do certain things. It's called probable cause.
I'm gonna mess your head up real quick.
What's up?
Who gave the green light?
Who gave it?
Because there's a consensus. There's a consensus that somebody up the food chain, whether it be in FOP, mayor's office, governor's office, there's somebody that hit a light switch to say, get them. Now, it could be in people's minds, it could be in people's perspectives, or it could be very well part of a shaded reality. But if you know, who gave the green light?
We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that right now. We're not gonna do that right now. We're not gonna do that right now.
I knew you wouldn't answer that. I don't think, even if you could, because it wouldn't even be safe or smart. I don't think for you to give that information up. Man, or be all the man you want to be.
But you know what, dude? At the end of the day, yeah, some clowns running off at the mouth. Yeah, running off at the mouth behind the camera.
Some people I can't even see. I don't know what it is, but I can't see some of them.
Yeah, some dude just talking bullshit. Anyway, at the I forgot what I was going to say. To be honest,
I messed your head up with that one. Now.
Well, I flashed up at that. Oh, what I was going to say was, at the end of the day, I chose to do this profession. And with that being said, there's certain things that I cannot do and will not do. So to be honest, even if we weren't on camera, I still wouldn't answer that question. And that's because at the same time, I still have guidelines I have to go by. We could talk about a lot of stuff and chop it up and have this conversation, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, this is the side that I'm on. And I'm going to do my job, and I have guidelines that I have to go by doing this job. So, like I said, we could be having this conversation. I could be sitting there having a conversation with anybody 10 minutes ago and then find out, hey, listen, there's a warrant out for him. I got to do my job. And I'm not going to go over there and say, hey, man, there's a warrant for you. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do my job. You got a warrant for whatever you did. You know, and that's what I tell people. We can sit out here and have a conversation about politics, basketball, whatever you want to talk about, and have a good conversation where we're doing right now, sitting back laughing, chopping up, doing all that good stuff. And 10 minutes from now, you commit a felony, and guess what's going to happen?
I'm here.
You're going to jail.
I used to sell CDs and DVDs, right? They were bootleg, of course. Once upon a time, made crack money off of it, too. Mm-hmm. And I had DC police, I'm talking about SOD on down, the regular officers that would come to my table. I had Secret Service officers in uniform pull up in their cars that would come to my table and buy from me. That being 100, that looked at it like you ain't killing nobody, you ain't selling poison, yada yada yada. I like the music, whatever, because I had I had like Nina Simone, I had like Miles Davis, I had like something different.
That ain't changed now. That hasn't changed now. That still happens.
They will give me the heads up if they heard of something coming down the pipe in roll call. Mm-hmm. But they would say, pack it up, Phil, because you are with me, but I don't want to have to do my job. Okay. Meaning, if they come back and they done and I'm still out there being greedy or whatever, they're going to do what they paid to do because that's their job.
Yeah, I mean, I bring it up to kind of. And I think that's another problem that people have with officers. A lot of people feel like officers do their job when it's convenient for them. And don't do it right all the time. Or you do it when you don't have to. You know, it's like we were talking about earlier and with the weed, right? And when you go to certain areas, you know, like if you go over to Texas right now, you get caught with, you know, in most jurisdictions, you get caught with, it's no way, shape, or form legal in Texas. You mess around and go over there and get caught with marijuana, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And it's a misdemeanor, but you're going to jail. But that officer may say, you know what, okay, I'm going to have some discretion right now, and I'm going to give you a citation, and you're not going to go to jail. You got a lot of people you got a lot of officers out there that do stuff because they can, not because they have to. If that makes sense.
That's the crux of a lot of both.
If that's what makes sense, okay?
Yeah.
A lot of people do stuff because they can and not because they have to. And again, like I said, a lot of people think we don't understand, and we do. Trust me, we do. I do. That what I said on that video don't mean I don't understand. It's just at the point. What I said in the video is because I'm tired of myself and good officers being attacked for getting out here and not doing people wrong, and you coming out and you're challenging us, knowing we can't do it. But at the same time, yeah, we can't do it. But what if we gave you the opportunity to do that? That don't mean I don't understand, but it's only so far as that I'm going to go to allow you to keep coming at me. You know what I mean? It's only so far that we're going to put, okay, I'm going to give you a shot.
Yeah, any human can be pushed, to a certain point where they're going to say, hold up.
Yeah, hold up. Okay, you know what? We're going to stop this.
Yeah.
It's like I told some people that I had to write some lengthy messages on their page and said, please understand, I'm not backpedaling. I'm not taking back what I said. I'm not recanting. I'm not doing none of that. You can talk all the shit you want. You can take my videos on whatever and make fun of my videos as I'm on TikTok doing a little dance like everybody else. You see what I'm saying? Trying to have fun, not be that stereotype that we're a bunch of robots. You can take that stuff on there. You can clown. I was born with alopecia. I have eczema. So you got people sitting on Warsaw talking about where his eyebrows at. Are you perfect? You got people that were born with half a lung, missing a rib, 1 foot longer than the other. Nobody's perfect. That don't mean you get to sit up there and try to make fun of somebody because you don't like what I said. Right. And it don't hurt my feelings. I've been living with alopecia since I was a kid. I actually had another guy that's a reformed felon that actually got in my inbox and we had a conversation. He has alopecia just like me. And that started the dialogue because we found something in common.
Yeah.
So people sitting on and people sitting me, hey, yo, you getting roasted in Twitter. You think that bothers me? You think that's gonna make me recant what I said? You think that's gonna make me back off? It's not. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to be funny instead of addressing the issue and trying to see where I'm coming from, and then that means you want to start a further problem. It's not gonna make me change. What, you sitting over there trying to be funny? Ha 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 ha. I'm gonna laugh with you. You're not hurting my feelings.
Right.
You're not hurting my
feelings. I had a homie coming up that had alopecia from like little age. A homie named Kojak. Anybody from Uptown DC probably knew Kojak, Uptown to Midtown, because he was real popular or what have you. But people gonna try to grab on any straw.
Oh yeah.
See if they
and then a lot
the way we came up, everything, just about everything was on the table. We called it joning. Some people call it doing the dozens or whatever, snapping or whatever. Anything was on the table. Anything that was perceived a deficiency.
Oh yeah.
What you do, you flip it on them and make it so that that don't bother me, but your mother on the we would take it there.
I think a lot of it, especially what's going on now, especially on Twitter and social media, right? They're trying to bait me in to do something that I'm not going to do. And that's to get into it and go back and forth and do the joking and get me to say something or come out of character and all that good stuff. And like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, and that's not going to happen. And like I tried to tell,
I hear Mayweather. I hear Mayweather willing to offer a bag.
I had to. That's funny. I had to tell the dude. I said, listen, don't get it twisted. I'm not backing off. I'm not recanting. I'm not doing none of that. But I'm not gonna go back and forth and keep popping off with y'all, because at the end of the day, if it comes down to it, that I decide to get in that ring with whoever, not if, when I decide to get in that ring with whoever, I'm not talking once that cage closes. Once my feet cross that rope and that cage closes, there's no talking. There's no discussion. I'm not finna boast. I'm not finna say I'm this, I'm that. You got cats popping off on I'm this and that. Would you step in the ring with me? And I'm like, okay, so now you just want to come automatically across with your stats. I didn't do that.
Stats don't mean nothing.
People looked at me and took it a certain way. I didn't say I'm 6'1", 200 pounds of power, and I'm this and I'm that, and I lift weights. I never said that.
I told you why though. You was all like this.
Okay. But like I said, I'm in the gym now and I'm sitting here. You see what I'm saying? It's not to try to intimidate. I'm working out. This is what I do on a day-to-day basis.
Right now,
but
even though you're still being serious, your demeanor is a little bit different than that. The delivery.
Like I said, that
video. I get what.
That video triggered why I responded the way I responded. And that's normal for people. When it gets to the point that some triggers you and say, you know what, enough. I'm sick of this. This is why what's going on right now in the world, because people are enough. And they're reacting to it. You know? But like I told him, and like I told this one guy, he's another young kid. He made his own little video, and I try to tell people, listen, don't go taking my videos and what I said and twisting and putting your own narrative on your page to get followers and likes. Don't put words on my mouth, because trust me, I will come at you and say, no, that's not what I said. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to back down what I said either. And like I told him, I said, dude, at the end of the day, don't think because I'm not responding, I'm hiding, because I'm definitely not, but I'm very selective with my words. And like I told him, at the end of the day, you're a boxer. You are a boxer. You're coming at me. You're a boxer. I'm not going to put his name out there. I'm not going to do all that, because at the end of the day, that's messy and that causes problems. But if he's watching this and when he does this, he knows the conversation, because that's between me and him. I ain't got to be all over social media behind it. Mm-hmm. But I did tell him, right, I said, you're a boxer. This is not Mayweather and McGregor. We get in that ring. We get in that ring. My style will not be restricted. If you're a boxer and you feel confident in your fighting skills, it's the same as being back in the arena. Whoever you talking trash to, you better hope that your fighting skills can beat them, because you don't know what they know while you're running off at the mouth.
Facts.
And when I get in that ring,
Facts.
when I decide to get in that ring, not if, when I decide to get in the ring, once I feel like I'm ready and I'm in fighting shape to do it.
Because every champion got their day. Every champion got their day.
When I get in that ring, I'm not boxing. I'm not a boxer. I'm a mixed martial arts. I'm not a boxer. So please understand, when you get in that ring and you box, please be prepared to fight somebody who has a completely different style than you. And it's not going to be restricted. That fight, and I don't care what nobody says, that fight with McGregor and Mayweather was money and a bunch of bullshit. Because at the end of the day, you should not have restricted. If you want a true fight in the true sense of fighter, strength and honor, and just being a fighter, you let that man fight his fight. And let's see whose style is going to win. You restricted that man. You straight out told him he could not do this and he could do that. And he was struggling not to do it. If you watch the fight, he was struggling not to throw an elbow, not to throw a kick. And that ended up hurting him in the long run.
I hear the homies got the Gracie brothers. I see what's going on. They're telling me we got like 1 minute and 53, 52 left.
Oh, okay. So we running up some time. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I done ate up my workout time too. I'm still gonna get in here and get it in. It's not gonna
matter. Brother, we've been on here all total about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Hopefully, some people that have tuned in have gained a certain understanding.
I hope so.
If not, you can't please everybody. Maybe we can do this again, maybe on a bigger platform. Like I said, I just wanted to do it where it was just one-on-one. So whatever you wanted to say would not get drowned out by 3, 4, 5 other guests.
Exactly.
Pro or against. And I think I did a good job with that. I hope that, this ain't the last of our conversations, and this ain't the last
it definitely won't
speaking
be.
up and speaking out.
It definitely won't be. This is definitely not going to be a one-time thing, because like I said, I like having conversations with good people. And I like I said, it's not a retraction. It's getting the point across and coming with understanding. Don't ever think nobody's hiding, especially me. Anybody who's known me, I don't hide. So don't ever think it's a retraction. But I want to get my point across to why I said and did what I did. And if at that point you still decide that you don't like what I had to say, that's fine. Then we do what we need to do.
And
but at least I put the foot forward to come to an understanding peacefully before it had to get to where we got to get in the ring. And if we just have to get in the ring, we just got to get in the ring. Not everybody's going to agree, and then sometimes it can't be settled with understanding.
Ladies and gentlemen who are around, Officer Slaughter, I'm Big Phil from Big Phil Speaks. We down 12 seconds and it's cutting off. I'm not anti-you. I'm pro-me with an emphasis on building we. So let that marinate.